The sky hung low, heavy with brooding clouds that threatened rain, but offered only unease. David Hunter adjusted the collar of his jacket as he walked through the narrow streets of Crestwood, a sleepy town nestled between forested hills and forgotten highways. The chill in the air wasn't from the weather alone. There was something else, something deeper, an unease that had been gnawing at his chest since morning. He stepped into the corner cafe, the bell above the door chiming a soft welcome. The warmth inside was a mild comfort. Baristas moved like shadows behind the counter, and the scent of fresh coffee offered a momentary reprieve. David ordered his usual, black, no sugar, and found a seat near the window. Rain began to tap against the glass like hesitant fingers. He was a man of routine. A former history teacher turned freelance writer, David found solace in the predictable. But lately, nothing had felt secure. The dreams had started 2 weeks ago. Visions filled with fire, stars falling from the sky, and voices whispering in tongues older than time. He'd brushed them off at first, blaming stress or his overactive imagination, but they kept returning, vivid and louder each night. That morning's dream had been the worst. He stood on a crumbling hill as the sun bled red into the horizon. A city burned below him, and then came the voice, not whispering, but booming. "Watch the 11th hour. Mr. Hunter?" A voice pulled him back. David looked up. An old man stood at his table. His eyes were pale, almost silver, and his skin was weathered like sun-scorched leather. He wore a faded coat that looked older than the man himself. There was a strange familiarity in his gaze. "Do I know you?" David asked. "Not yet," the man said, sitting without invitation. "But you will. My name is Elijah." David blinked, unsure whether to be annoyed or intrigued. "Okay, Elijah. Can I help you with something?" "You're already dreaming of the end," Elijah said calmly. "You've seen it. The burning cities, the falling stars, the voice in the sky. You're not alone." David felt his stomach tighten. "How do you know that?" Elijah leaned in. "Because I see it too. Because it's real. And because the hour is later than you think." David looked around, wondering if he was being pranked. But the cafe carried on as usual. No one paid them any mind. "Look," David said cautiously, "I don't know who you are or how you know about my dreams, but I think you've got the wrong guy." "No," Elijah said firmly. "You're the right one, just like others before you. Prophets, watchmen, martyrs. The message always returns to those willing to hear." David stood, trying to shake off the encounter. "I'm sorry. I need to go." "Heed the signs, David," Elijah called after him. "They've already begun." David stepped into the cold, wet street, his heart pounding. He glanced back through the window. Elijah was gone. That night, the dreams returned, but they were different. He stood at the edge of a great abyss. Black winds howled from its depths. A woman stood across from him, her eyes like burning coals, her skin pale as ash. She spoke without moving her lips. "You cannot stop what is coming." The ground cracked. Shadows rose. He turned to run and awoke in a cold sweat, gasping. Sarah stirred beside him. "Another dream." He nodded. "Worse than before." She reached for his hand, her fingers warm. "You should talk to Mark. Maybe there's something in Scripture that can help." Mark was David's childhood friend and now the town's pastor. David had drifted from church over the years, but Mark had remained steadfast. "Yeah," David said. "Maybe." But, even as he said it, he knew. This was no ordinary nightmare. This was something else. A warning. And he was already too far in to ignore it.